What if saving money felt less like a chore and more like a game? Today, I want to share with you 5 savings challenges to help gamify your money, where you could save anywhere from $500 up to $24,000. You can pick one of these challenges that fits your lifestyle, income, and goals. And if you follow the steps I include here, you could end up with some serious cash by the end of the year. Hi, I'm Jacob Wade from Lunch Money. I'm a financial coach. And while saving money can feel difficult at times, if you turn it into a game, it can actually be a whole lot of fun. So I want to share with you 5 simple savings challenges that you can follow with and create a game out of to save up to $24,000 in the next year. And of course, I want to tie it all together and show you how Lunch Money can help you track your progress along the way. So stay tuned. I'll show you that right within the app. So let's get right into it. All right, the first savings challenge is the easiest one to start with, and it's called the $5 bill savings challenge. The idea is really simple. Anytime you come across a $5 bill, you're going to stick it in a jar or a drawer or somewhere where you stash money. So let's say you come across one of these bad boys, like say you get change after grabbing lunch like I did today. I'm going to go, oh, $5 bill, that's going to trigger in my brain immediately, put it somewhere to save it. And if you start using cash for groceries or bills or, spending money on the regular, every time you get change back, anytime your hands come across a $5 bill, you stick it in that jar. It's going to do a couple of things. Number one, you're going to save without thinking about it because you've already created a rule in your brain. Hey, if I touch a $5 bill, it goes in the jar, right? It goes in the cup, it goes in the drawer. But number two is all you have to do is come across 2 $5 bills a week, and you're going to save $10 a week, which is going to help you put away over $500 in the next year. This is probably money you would have just let sit in your wallet or you would have spent on something frivolous anyway. So it might as well go in the jar and you have it allocated there. And what's really cool too is your brain really loves that there's already a rule in place. You touch the $5 bill, triggers, boom, it goes away. And seeing it physically pile up, like literally if you have a glass jar and you can see the $5 bill starting to stack up there, this game gets more and more exciting because the more you win, the more you save and the more money you have. Now, you can just save this for general savings. Sometimes it's a little more exciting to be like, if I hit my $500 goal, I get to go do something fun. So maybe you get to go skiing for the weekend or go on a little trip, or you get to buy yourself something you've been waiting on that isn't part of your normal budget. But if you follow this $5 bill challenge, it is super simple. It's easy to keep track of the progress because it's right there, right in front of you at all times. So that's savings challenge number 1. All right, challenge number 2 is called the 52-week savings challenge. Now, there are 2 ways to really go about this. The original version is that you start week number 1, because you're going to save money every single week. Week number 1, you're going to save $1. When you get to week number 2, you're going to save $2. You can see where I'm going with this. Week number 3, $3, and so on. And by the end of the challenge, you're going to be saving $48 a week, $49 a week, $50 a week, all the way up to $52 in that last week of the challenge. There's a couple of things going on here. Number 1 is you're lowering the barrier to entry to build a really good money-saving habit. Almost anybody could find $1 to save. So you have an entire 7 days to find $1 to put aside. If you can save $1, you probably can find a way to save $2 the next week. So this is a sneaky way to teach yourself to save money, right? By the end of the first month, you've only got like $10 set aside, $15 maybe after 5 weeks, but you've got 5 weeks of consistent saving under your belt, right? If they say it takes 21 days to build a habit and you've been doing it for a month, you've built the habit already. And now all you got to do is continue the process. And the cool thing is, if you do this challenge, by the end of 52 weeks, you'll have over $1,300 set aside that you didn't have before. Now, to track this challenge, you can just simply write it down. You can just Google the 52-week savings challenge, but like I've got a little planner here and I've got week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? All the way to week 10. I was just giving an example, but you put a little checkbox and you can see how the numbers add up. By the end of 10 weeks, it's only $55, but now I'm saving $11 the next week. And then I'm saving $12 the next week and the next week. And all of a sudden you're over $100 and the savings really starts to pile on, but you've built 3 months of savings habit already. So this challenge is really cool when you use the ramp method. Now, the other way to do this is for people that don't want to do that ramp and they really just kind of want to automate this process. You can still just set up an automated transfer from your checking account to your savings account every single week. And if you want to save about the same amount of money, put aside about $25 per week. 25 per week is going to be $1,300 in savings at the end of the 52-week savings challenge. Now, the way you do this is, one, I would say open up a savings account outside your regular bank. Like just Google, best high yield savings accounts and sign up for one of those savings accounts and label it savings challenge. And then what you'll do is you'll log into that savings account and you'll set up a transfer from your checking to your saving. And you can set up what's called a recurring transfer. This recurring transfer allows you to transfer on a regular schedule. So just set weekly. And let's say you get paid on Friday. So you go, okay, every Friday, I'm going to transfer over $25. So you get paid, $25 goes into that 52-week savings challenge. By the time 52 weeks is up, you're going to have $1,300 in the account. The goal, no matter which method you choose, option A or option B, is to just set a habit and make it ingrained so that no matter what, every time you get paid or every single week, you just have a trigger in your brain that says, oh, I need to save money. Did I put my money aside, right? You check those boxes. There's something about that teaches your brain, I want to check the box this week. So let's make sure I put my $27 aside, if you're on week 27. So this savings challenge can help you quickly save over $1,000 in the next year, and you can do it in the background. And then guess what? By the end of this challenge, I bet you're still going to save money every single week. That is the win of the 52-week savings challenge. All right, savings challenge number 3 is called the 100 envelope savings challenge. Now, this one's ramping it up a bit, but the idea is you literally go and purchase a box of 100 envelopes. Just go to Amazon.com or the local office supply store, get 100 envelopes, and then you're going to label each of these envelopes numbers 1 through 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You're going to have all of them labeled with a number. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to have them turned upside down, or you're just going to have them stacked in the box so you can't see what the label is. You're going to mix them all up. Then you're going to reach in there and you're going to pull out an envelope. And when you pull out the envelope, whatever the number is on that envelope, you have to put that amount of cash into the envelope. So if I pull this envelope, again, this is just an example envelope, and I'm like, oh no, there's a 5, right? I got to find a way to get $5 into that envelope today. Luckily, I've got $5 in my pocket and I'm going to stick it in this envelope. And once it's in the envelope, you're actually going to seal the envelope and put it in another box of completed envelopes. So what you're going to do is pull a number out and go, oh, I got to put that money, find a way to get that cash in there, and then stick it into the finished envelope box. By the time you actually get through all 100 envelopes, you're going to have over $5,000 saved, which is significant. That's huge. And if you do this for 100 days straight, you're going to save $5,000 in 100 days. Now that might sound a bit aggressive and you might go, okay, that's a little much. Maybe you just pull out 2 envelopes a week, right? That still will get you to 100 envelopes in a year. So maybe this is a $5,000 in a year savings challenge for you, but whatever frequency you choose, the idea is you got to figure out, like whatever you got to sell something, you got to go cash out something, you got to get a refund, like whatever you got to do to find that extra money, you put it in there. If you pull out number 76, you got to find $76 cash and you got to put it in that envelope. And again, this is sort of a challenge that doesn't let you make excuses. It tells your brain, okay, this solution has to be solved. I can't go to sleep until I fill this envelope. If you can fill that envelope and you put it in the finished box, 1, you're going to feel really accomplished. 2, you're going to figure out how creative you are in finding extra money. And number 3, you're going to end up with $5,000. So the 100 envelope savings challenge is awesome. You might feel relief if you pull out the number 3 one day, but whatever the number is, you got to do it. All right, savings challenge number 4 is saving $10,000 in the next 6 months. No, it doesn't have a creative name, but it is a massive challenge, double the last one we just talked about. But this is for super savers, for people that want to get to a financial goal very quickly. I will say this is better for people that actually have a specific use for that $10,000. Now, an emergency fund is a great thing, but it's hard to necessarily feel motivated to save $10,000 as fast as you can just to park it in an emergency fund. But if you're going to buy a boat, maybe you want a house down payment and you need some extra funds, or maybe you're going to get a new car, having a labeled goal makes this challenge a bit easier because you're motivated to do what it takes, because it does take a little bit of work. Now, I will say saving $10,000 sounds like a huge goal, so I like to break it down into smaller chunks. So if you save $1,667 per month, that will get you there in 6 months. But even if that feels like a lot, you can break it down by week. $417 per week. So maybe if you get paid weekly, you can think, okay, I got to find $417 in my paycheck every single week to hit this $10,000 goal. Or if you're a daily person and you're like, I want to put the money aside every single day, you need to save a little over $55 per day to get to that $10,000 goal. Now, this isn't just going to be something that you stumble into and you kind of slowly work your way. Like, you need to do some serious things to sprint toward this $10,000 goal. Number one is you're going to have to go through your budget. Of course, it's literally what we do here at Lunch Money. If you click the link below, there's a 30-day free trial. You can connect your financial accounts. We'll show you where your money's been going. We'll show you a ton of areas of waste, and you can make better financial decisions when you have that clarity. So you're going to need to cut out unnecessary spending. You're going to need to go through and comb through your subscriptions. We have an entire recurring tab, which will show you all of your regular recurring bills that maybe you don't even know about. There's even a calendar view, and you can take a look. Oh, these upcoming bills, I don't even know what these are. Let's go cancel those things that I didn't realize I was spending money on. You're also going to need to be really honest with yourself about your discretionary spending, things that you spend on Amazon.com or Target or wherever you end up spending your money, or maybe it's restaurants or it's eating out or it's, food delivery. Make sure you just dial those things back, even if it's just for the 6 months, and realize I need to actually make some sacrifices to start setting this money aside. Number two is you might need to start side hustling a little extra income. So maybe you don't have enough money to save $1,600 plus per month, but if you drive Uber 2 weekends a month, maybe you can find that extra $1,600 or whatever the gap is that you need to make up. And then finally, if you want to really just go heads down on this and make it happen, you can do what's called a no spend challenge. Now, I have an entire video right here. I'll link it up here called the no spend challenge. But the idea is you only spend on the essentials, the literal bare minimum essentials for the duration of this. Now, 6 months is a long time to do this, but if you want to save a ton of money, maybe you just no spend one of those months, see how it feels, and cut back on a lot of stuff for the rest of the 5 months. So this is going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some work, but if you can break it down and go, okay, I want to save $55 a day, or I need to save $417 per paycheck every single week, you could actually get to this $10,000 goal. And if you're saving towards something, maybe you have a picture of that thing you're going to, maybe it's a new car, like a dream car, and I want to put this up here, I'm saving $10,000 for that. Or you got a huge home project and you're like, man, we want to get that above ground pool. It's about $10,000. Let's put a picture of our family, have AI, have you swimming in that pool. So you go, oh, I can feel the water. I really want to get this thing. Let's heads down. And for 6 months, we're going to save as much as we possibly can to get to this $10,000 goal. But if you break it down, you check in every single week, and you get on a budget, you can actually do this. All right, now we're here for the ultimate challenge. Savings challenge number 5 is the 24,000 in a year challenge. Now, this challenge is just a convenient number because there are 12 months in a year, and if you save $2,000 a month, you'll get to 24,000. Again, this is made for super savers or people that have a very specific high priority, high cost goal that they want to get to. If you want to save your down payment in a year for your house and you need $24,000, this is absolutely the way to do it. Similar to the saving 10 grand in 6 months challenge, you're going to need to be very diligent about where your money goes. So you're going to need to track where every dollar goes to. You're going to need an app that'll take care of that. Hey, Lunch Money, we'll do that for you if you'd like. And you're going to need to set a budget that's realistic, that spends on the things that you need and cuts out all the other stuff that takes away from your $24,000 goal. And again, if you want to break it down into smaller numbers, of course, it's $2,000 per month, or I've got it written down here, about $66 per day will get you to $24,000 in the next year. So if you like to break things down into smaller numbers and you go, I can save $66 per day. I can stop spending on several things that I do every single day that will help me get there. Then you could start to stack that savings. But if you're going to save $2,000 a month and you're not already doing that, you are going to need to step it up. There's a couple of things. Number one, of course, get on the budget, clean up your budget, get rid of the non-essentials, get rid of things you don't need. Number two, I would say sell stuff. There are so many people that I've talked to that can make hundreds, even thousands of dollars with stuff that's sitting around the garage that they haven't touched in a year or more. I'm one of those people. I've done this several times. Actually, once a year, we actually go through all our stuff and we sell things. We make hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We're actively going through stuff right now. I'm sure we've made probably close to $1,000 in the last 6 months, just selling stuff we didn't need. But at one point, we had a ton of stuff and we sold 7 grand worth of things we didn't need in a 6 month period. So it is possible to make some serious money selling stuff. Again, you might need to pick up a side gig, something where you can either work online and do some, start an online business, or a side hustle, or driving for Uber or Uber Eats or DoorDash or something. You can bring in several $100s a week, or maybe up to $1,000 a month on the side, which can get you there, right? $1,000 a month on the side is halfway to meeting this challenge's goal. And then you pair that with a budget and be diligent with your money and selling a couple things. It's realistic to save $2,000 per month. Going to need to challenge yourself. And this is where, for this challenge specifically, I would make sure to have like a little celebration day every single month, no matter what number you hit. Even if you don't hit that $2,000 goal in any given month, celebrate what you have done. Enjoy it. Just put a huge poster on the wall and maybe check in. Okay, did we hit 2,000? How close are we? Okay, we got to $600 this month. Okay, that's all right. Maybe the next month we can make up for it. We got some extra jobs coming in. Track your progress and enjoy the process. So even if you don't hit $24,000, you're going to be way further ahead than you were before you started this challenge. And of course, in Lunch Money, what's really cool is you can create a whole separate savings account, call it the $24,000 savings challenge. And as you transfer money into there, you're going to start seeing that account balance go up and up and up and up. And if you build it into your budget, all of that money that goes there, you can keep track of it the entire time. So this is a massive challenge. 24 grand in a year might seem unreasonable to you. It actually should. That's why it's a challenge. But what's really cool is as you start to make momentum and make some of these decisions and start putting the money into that thing, and you're challenging yourself. And if you even do this in a group with some friends and challenge each other, you're going to start seeing wins come out of nowhere, places you didn't even expect it. And all of a sudden, even if you only get to 20,000, that's 20,000 you didn't have last year. So the $24,000 savings challenge is the biggest one, but can have the biggest impact on your life. And I promise to show you how you could represent one of these savings challenges inside the Lunch Money app. So let's take one of the bigger ones. Let's say we want to save $10,000 in the next 6 months. So this is just an example budget here of somebody making about $4,500 a month. And they've got their bare essentials, which are going to take up about 75% of their $4,500 income. And then they've got some savings that they set aside and some fun money. What I would do if you wanted to hyper focus on this goal is take kind of every other loose dollar that's outside of your essentials and focus it on this goal. So to save 10 grand in 6 months, you need $1,667 per month. So what I would do is I would clear out all of this stuff. Maybe we'll keep the Roth IRA. That's a good one. But let's clear out the vacation and emergency fund savings, the extra debt payments, and even the miscellaneous stuff, at least for now, to see if we can get to the place where we can save about $1,600 for the month. So I'm going to clear this entire budget out outside of the essentials. And now it says we're only spending $3,550 on a $4,500 income. So that's about $950 that we can save. So what I could do here is I could go to the setup and we can go to categories and we could just add a new category called save $10,000, right? And now that I've got that there, I'll put it right here under the savings goal. And now this is going to be our priority. So when I go back to the budget here, we're going to see this save $10,000 goal. Here's what you can do. After you clear the categories, let's say you create a budget in Lunch Money and you go, okay, I'm going to cut out all the extra stuff that I don't need. You just click on this and say, what's left? Boom. Now you have allocated $950 toward this thing, but you know you need $1,600. So what are you going to do? This is where you're going to try to pick up some extra income, sell some stuff on the side, try to find ways to loosen up your budget a little bit if you can. Again, there's not a lot of room. If you can get lower groceries, if you can negotiate some of your insurance stuff, maybe you can do that. But if this is your fixed expenses, about an extra $700 to try to get to this goal of saving $1,600, this is where you can start selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace or picking up side jobs. And if you break it down by week, think of it this way. I need $700 or maybe $750-ish. That's about $200 a week. $200 a week for 4 weeks is going to get you a little beyond that, around $800. So if you say, okay, I need to find a way to make $800 this month, that means in the next 7 days, let me find a side gig that pays me $200. And if you can do that each and every week, whether it's selling stuff or, like I said, driving for DoorDash or Uber or some way you can make an extra $200 in a single week, and most people can do that, in a weekend, then you can save $800 extra. So now we can go down here and hit left to budget. Boom. Now we're saving $1,750 a month on this budget. I will say this is a very bare bones budget, but that's why this is a challenge. And if you can sprint toward $10,000 over the next 6 months, you're going to be so much further ahead. Then you can add the fun stuff back in and start saving again for other things or paying off debts, that type of thing. But if you really want to sprint toward this $10,000, you can build it right here into the budget and track it. Every time you transfer money to that savings account, label it $10,000 savings account. You just keep track of that here and you'll see the transactions go through. All those savings transactions will add up and show you how close are you to hitting that 1750 inside this budget itself. So those 5 savings challenges can help you save hundreds or even thousands of dollars in the next 6 to 12 months. Here's what you shouldn't do. Don't try to do all of them. You will get overwhelmed and some of them are probably beyond your grasp. So pick one that seems reasonable. Maybe it's the 52-week savings challenge and you're going to start today. It doesn't have to be January 1st. You could be doing this on August 1st. It doesn't matter what day it is. Start today and go, this week I'm going to save $1. Next week I'm going to save 2, then 3, right? Maybe that's a nice ramp up for you. Or maybe you're like, I make good money and I'm just not saving it the right way. Let me just cut everything else out and save that $1,667 a month or $417 a week. And let's get to 10,000 as fast as I can. You can go ahead and do that. But pick one challenge, stick with it, keep yourself accountable. And if you have a group of friends that you can do this with, it is going to be even more motivating to actually stay on track. And of course, you can use the Lunch Money app. Will give you a free 30-day trial. Connect your accounts. You could set up that simplified budget. Keep track of every transaction that comes through. We'll categorize it for you. We'll show you what's going on. We'll show you how much you have left in the budget every single day so you know exactly where your money is and where it's going. And if you need some help saving even more money, I have an entire playlist of a ton of videos that show you how to save money, from frugal hacks to savings tips to budgeting hacks, all types of stuff. You can watch all of these videos, binge them, save a ton of money, and end up with more financial freedom. Check them out right here.